Do you like golf?
Do I like golf? I don't mind golf. I don't play it much, but I did go to what was it? The one up in the sunny coast, like the resort style.
Oh,
one?
Pridgeon?
No, the other one. Noosa Springs.
Yeah, Noosa Springs. That's nice.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Played a little 9 rounds of golf.
That's actually what this reminds me of, Noosa Springs.
Have you ever played golf here?
Yeah. No, not here. No. I play back in Noosa.
Yep.
I love golf, man. Just not good at it.
And you're from Noosa, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I bet. All right, so you're listening to What's Your Voyage? I'm your host, Hamish McLaughlin-Lester. We're doing our first remote, on-the-go, travelling podcast, and we have Jaxon Tippet, who has quite an interesting story from what I've seen. And you're into health, you're into wellness, you're into coaching people. So
yeah, brother. Thank you for having me on. And it's funny how you connect with different people in the world. And I believe everything happens for a reason. And maybe I'm the reason that I come on your podcast, and maybe my message will get out there for someone in your audience, and it might help them or motivate them or whatever it may be. So yeah, thanks for having me on.
No worries, man. So can you tell people just like what do you actually do to start with?
Yeah, bro. So I do multiple things for my income. So my main thing is online coaching. So I help people, with their goals towards losing weight, building muscle, but not really just that. Like I really dip into their mindset so it's kind of like a lifestyle and nutrition coach. And then on the side, I do a lot of brand work. So I, work for various brands like Culture Kings and stuff, and shoots, stories, videography, all of that type of stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's a wide range. It's a bit
of a jack of all trades when it comes to a bit of influencer, no?
And then I've got my own podcast. So the IME podcast, which we're about 160 episodes in. And ever since I've done that, man, like I think that's probably my favorite thing to do right now is just speak on my podcast or other podcasts, and just the connections I've made, man, is just through podcasting, like unreal, man. Some of my best friends are just through, podcasts. So
just having them on.
It's crazy, bro. So I used to look at podcasts and be like, fuck, they're gay. And now I'm like, who can I connect with? Like, what can we talk about?
I've seen that there. We literally were just posting. And then you're like, yeah, man, great podcast. Let me know if you want anybody on.
That's crazy. I'm actually thinking how I even come across yours.
I don't know.
It would have been through someone that you had on.
Well, I had Corey Boutwell, and I know you've met him
Corey,
before.
Yeah. So you've had him on.
Yeah.
You know him well?
No, I just had him on through a recommendation of a friend.
Yeah, so I've been on Corey's and had Corey on mine.
Yeah.
And he's cool, man. He's very different with what he talks about. Like, I don't know what you talked about, on his or on yours, but he dips into like fully like the supplements and neuro and like, full in depth brain supplements, food, grounding, like he's full on.
Yeah.
But I think he's got an interesting story, and I think that's why it's so cool to have guests on, is because everyone has their own individual story. Do you know what I mean?
I do. So
yeah.
Tell me, man, what's your story? You're all tatted up. You're like full gym man. Like, I heard that you went on Callum's podcast.
Callum.
Young Bloods.
Yeah. Oh, so you know Callum.
Yeah. So
right.
He's actually like one of my best mates growing up.
Yeah.
He's like his first cousin.
Yeah,
so
right.
Like I've known Callum like.
He's doing good things too with his podcast.
Doing phenomenal.
His is basically around mental health, which is what my podcast is around, and it all revolves back to mental health and mindset. I reckon with whatever you talk about, it all comes back to your mind, your mental health, your well-being, all of that type of stuff.
Why is that something that you care about?
Mental health?
Yeah.
Man, to be honest, it's something I care about because I've struggled myself, and I know that everyone out there listening right now has, if not now or in the past, struggled with mental health. Everyone. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're top end celebrity, if you're, the happiest person on earth and you're always posting positive things. We all have dark down days. We all do it, man. Like I woke up this morning, not feeling great, but I'm fortunate enough where I have a lot of support and I get a lot of feedback and a lot of messages, and I know I've got people around me that check in on me. So that lifts me up. But there's people out there that they wake up, they've got no one to talk to. they've got nothing to look forward to. They've got no job. They've got no ambition. So 9 times out of 10, what those people do is they usually resort to drugs or suicide. And these are the things that are ruining people's lives. And I think we just need to open up and talk about it more so we can stop this happening.
What's your relationship with that? Like, what has been your mental health journey? Like, has drugs and suicide been on your, like, radar?
Yeah, so obviously I was heavily addicted to steroids. I'm sure you would have heard that.
I just heard you were addicted to some drug. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, so steroids was... I've obviously done the drugs, but my drug was more steroids. I was really focused on body image. And
was that from like when you like finished school or like during school?
Yeah, brother. Kind of like year 12 and then like just out of school kind of thing with who I was hanging around. You know, it's very normal. It might not be normal for you, but it is very normal for a teenager or, you know, a young 20-year-old to want to look good and, you know, want to put on a little bit of muscle and have abs. Of course, mate. You know, I'm not going to sit here and lie. Like, everyone wants to look good, whether you say you don't or...
Mate, especially up on the Gold Coast. Especially.
You know, when you're out at the beach and that, who doesn't want to try and impress girls? And that's what kind of fell me into it. As silly as it sounds, I'm just being honest.
Vanity's real.
I wanted to be that person walking down the street where everyone was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's tatted up, he's jacked, he looks good. But then I soon came to realize, like, after years and years of abuse of steroids, that there's so much more to life. And
what was the impact of steroid abuse?
What was the negatives?
Yeah, like is it the regular things that you hear, like, oh, your balls shrink and fucking you get angry, or is it what was it actually?
I don't know if my balls shrunk, but and I don't think you did get smaller either. So I think that's a myth too. But to be honest, man, like I more my mental, how I treated people. Like,
is it the anger?
Yeah, but angry, and I thought I was just better than people.
Okay.
So I thought I was just king shit. I treated people with no respect. Just completely different person to what I am now, but then also internally. So once I started to, you know, heavily use it years and years, it was more like the internal effects of my liver, my kidneys, my heart. I had to... At one stage, I was seeing a cardiologist for my heart. My liver was, you know, pretty fucked. My kidneys weren't good with all my blood tests. You know, I would wake up and just want to sleep all day because that's a sign that your liver's affected. You know, my urine was yellow, like bright yellow. I smelt of it even, like, you know what I mean?
What, of steroids?
Yeah, like it's hard to explain, but like I was at a sign where my body was saying like, oh, you're not healthy, you know what I mean? You keep this up, you're going to die. And I just want to quickly touch base because I've just put out a podcast based on steroids, and obviously I've got a wide fitness community and I got a lot of feedback, and there was a few people that touched base and they're like, yeah, what you talked about was great, but you can't just speak about all the negatives of it. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm talking about abuse. I abused it. And for someone like a male over 30 or 40 that is on like a testosterone replacement.
Wasn't that different to steroids?
Yeah, but it's still a steroid. So I think we need to speak openly and be like for a testosterone, if your levels are actually low, it's beneficial. I'm not telling you not to do that, but I'm telling you that if you're going to use, you know, because there's different compounds you can use. So it's like drugs. There's different drugs. And if you put them all in your body and you stay on it for a period of time without getting off, that's when the side effects are going to come in.
So how often were you taking? Was it like a daily or was it weekly? Or
every second day.
Okay.
And then I was on it for kind of off and on, but on it majority for 6 years.
How quickly did you get like jacked? Just cause, did you start as like a scrawny teenager?
Yeah,
or were you already kind of like athletic?
Nah, bro. I was like, I wish I had photos to show. I was just a string bean, bro. Like and I think that's another part why I did it. I wasn't confident within my own body. But also steroids don't take away the hard work. And that's what a lot of people listening need to understand. It's when you see someone big or walking around, it's not like they've just put in steroids and
then
wow.
they go, poof.
No, it's a lot of dedication.
It's not Popeye.
No, it's not, man. It was a lot of hard work with food, training, all of that type of stuff. But yeah, I believe everything happens for a reason, and I don't regret anything I did. It made me who I am, and if I wasn't doing it, 6 years ago, and I didn't, nearly go to jail, and I didn't nearly lose my family, my health, then I'd probably still be doing it to this day.
What's that part of the story?
Which
like almost going to jail?
Oh, so I got caught with it, with personal possession.
Oh, is steroids illegal?
Yeah, man, it's a plus.
I thought they're legal, but they're just like frowned upon in the fitness community.
No, honestly, man, straight up, they're actually a class 1 drug now. So it is on the same category as heroin and ice, which I don't agree with that. But yeah, so I actually got caught with my own personal use 3 times.
Yeah.
So not once, twice, 3 times, which is pretty much guaranteed jail. And man, all I can think back of now is I didn't get jail time. I know when I was in that court case and the judge told me, blah, 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 you're not going to jail, you've got a fine, all of these other things. I felt like that was a sign from God telling me that I have more ahead of me, and he just sees more light and something ahead of me that I need to get off now. This is my time to get off and make a change and be a better person. And that's when it all changed.
Well, I mean, what a phenomenal epiphany.
Yeah.
And had you already started being influencer and going down that path, or was that you switched and then started doing?
No, I was already, so I was pretty heavily into IG. I don't care about followers, but I've got 160K now, roughly. When I was suffering all that court case and blah, 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 I had about 80K. So I was fairly well known, and that's when it blew up in the media.
Yeah.
As soon as I went to the court case, because they try to make it out this influencer is not really an influencer. You know what I mean? Influencers are meant to influence people in a positive way.
I mean, they can.
Yeah, but that's what they try to make it out in the newspaper and the media, that I'm
the enemy.
I'm trying to be this online coach and all of this type of stuff. Yeah, but really all I'm doing is taking steroids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were already coaching.
Yeah.
You were already sharing motivational content around it years back, and then you had that, and then they tried to tarnish your brand in a sense by saying it's just that you're a junkie
100%.
of steroids.
Yeah.
And that's how they painted it.
And
but then really, you were just going through it.
Yeah. And then, it was a hard time, man, after that court case. Obviously, I was working with a lot of brands in terms of supplements and stuff like that. They all obviously saw it go in the media and the GC Mail and the Bulletin and stuff like that, and they automatically just flicked me off because they didn't want to be a part of that, you know what I mean? So,
but I feel all that publicity would have done as Eazy-E says, all publicity is good publicity.
And it's true, man. It is true. I did gain a lot of exposure from that. And it was a hard time, man. I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of respect from majority of the community because...
Did they not know? Was it something that you were
No, they knew I was on
you didn't do?
Steroids, but it's just people didn't want to be around me because I got caught with it. They thought I was dealing. You know what I mean? They just didn't really want to be a part of me anymore. So I lost a lot of that. Obviously, I lost a heavily bond with my parents because they're fully against drugs, man. So once they knew the whole time, but once they seen I got caught and just how much of a person I was changed, they didn't want to be part of my life. They were get out of the house and stuff. And
because of the public shame? You reckon that? Is
yeah, a bit of everything. They saw my health deteriorating. Obviously, they raised me up to be someone different. Any parent, if your kid grows up and becomes a drug addict, I'm sure you don't want that. So they were what the fuck? And then it took, months and months to just gain that trust back and with my friends and with them, and then obviously get my health back on point because I was at a point where, man, I couldn't get an erection. I was just everything was just, and I was literally that depressed. I had no job, nothing. So that's why I speak so heavily on like mental health and like, you know, if you're in a dark place, you can get out of it. Like, because I went out of it and I've gone from zero to, you know, this. So it's like, I believe now if I can spread my message of someone out there, and it doesn't have to be steroids or anything, but if you're, you know, suffering or you are addicted to something or you're depressed, you can get out of it. You know what I mean? You don't have to be that person for the rest of your life.
What was your road to redemption for that?
As in like
getting from that real, like, I'm in rock bottom to actually like taking those first steps to raising that self-worth and like creating results for your life again.
I would have to say it was majorly my parents. You know, they were my support and like, you know, you can do this, like you can do what you want in life. And then I started to change my circle of who I was hanging around, and I started to surround myself with people like you, and you know what I mean, like more people that are like, they have goals and ambitions and they're focused and they're driven and they're positive, and that just changed everything, man. I was like, fuck, like I can do these things. And there's so much more to life than just your image, you know what I mean? And that's when I really started to realize, like, not just like from one day to the next, but over time, that I've got a lot ahead of me and I can achieve big things. Like, I'm still young. I've still got my life. I'm not in jail. I should be thankful and grateful. So that's when I started to really push the ropes and really take my business serious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Respect. It's just
it's big stuff. And like in my personal like life, like I have people really close to me that like going through the thick of it in their lives. Yeah. And I'm just like, and like has similar aesthetic to you, and I'm just like seeing them in you, and I'm like,
and they have
feeling inside like, oh my God, I so hope that they
and they're still in that,
still in the thick of it.
Yeah, bro. I got people right now, like obviously I still deal with all the fitness community, like I got clients, all of that stuff, and I see mates, even in the gym today, man, I was in there and I was like, I see like my friends going down the path that I went down, and it's like I want to help them. Like they want to be strong and they're in that zone and they feel good, but I see past that and I see them getting addicted and I see it going nowhere. Like eventually you're going to have to get off. You want to have a family or whatever, and I just feel like I just want them to stop. Do you know what I mean? Like I just feel like there's more to life than going down that path. But it's hard to tell them, and you know what I mean? So that's why I speak so openly on podcasts, because if someone's listening, maybe they take on what I say and they stop, or you know, they reach out to me and it makes an impact. So
yeah, fair.
Yeah.
And in terms of like the health orientated stuff that you coach people in, like what's your kind of focus? Like, are you like, hey man, do your butthole gazing, you know, like, you know, eat like all these particular supplements? Isn't it like BT something, you know, like makes you heal real quick and stuff like that? Or are you more like, hey, it's about the basics? Or like, what's your vibes there?
Like when I give my nutrition plans and that to my clients, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously I've done everything in my life. Like, I don't know how heavily you know about nutrition and that, but there's so many fads, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like all the keto and all that.
Yeah, like there's even carnivore now and fucking, it's everything, bro. But all of these things work.
Have you tried them all? Like,
bro, besides carnivore.
Have you done water fast?
I've done fast, yeah. So I've done, depends on how long.
What's the longest fast you've done?
I think I nearly went to a 48-hour and thought I was going to die.
Okay. Wait, were you drinking water? Or was it dry?
Yeah, water. Yeah,
okay, just water?
Yeah, and coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was intense.
My best mate did 7 day.
How long?
7 day water fast.
There's no way.
He did it.
How?
His willpower,
dude,
I'm telling you.
That's insane.
Dude. And he was still coming out to events and we're just
7 days.
7 days, dude.
And he had energy.
Yeah, he said once he like hit past 3 days, like he like got this like huge energy push again.
Who is this dude?
His name's George Mamalis. He's my best mate.
I got to get him on my podcast.
He's not like in like the best physical shape either. So that's why it's also like equally inspirational. Like he's kind of like a chubby bubby.
I've never really heard. Well, I have, but I've never really heard of anyone go past 3 days.
You've done it.
Like
I was
that
there.
72 is kind of like, that's like intense.
Yeah, dude.
Wow. That's, man, he must have a strong mindset.
He does. He does.
You know
Very strong mindset.
But yeah, I felt like absolute shit after that. But going
48 hours. That's pretty. I did 48 hours on a juice fast though.
yeah.
I was just chilling there. I was like,
Girls do that all the time.
Hey.
Girls before their shoots, they're like, that's all they do.
Yeah.
But yeah, like going back to that, like I think they're all just short fixes, and I don't believe in that. Like I just believe in balance now. Fair. So I truly believe, like in terms of nutrition, like you should just nourish your body with a little bit of everything. You shouldn't really seclude anything. Like you shouldn't, for example, go and eat a block of chocolate each night, but pretty much majority of my clients, I'll have them having like a row of chocolate once a day. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, that just as an example, like you don't have to cut out carbohydrates. Like
yeah, it doesn't have to be all or nothing.
It is our preferred energy source. You know what I mean? But then like,
yeah, I love pasta, dude.
Yeah, like there's nothing, bro. Like, come on. Like, could you imagine going the rest of your life without a carbohydrate? Like, do you know how?
Personally, no.
Like to eat out and like cook or be with your girlfriend, do you know how much that takes away things? And I think that's what it comes down to is like, can you do this for the rest of your life? And with majority of those fad diets, you can't. So I think that's why it comes back to balance. So yeah, I'm big on that, man.
Yeah, I fuck with that.
Yeah.
That's how I live my life.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me just go in this trajectory of like being healthier and healthier.
Yeah.
As I can. Like, all right, make sure I get my water, make sure I eat enough. Make sure, you know, like was it 2 fruit, 5 veg thing?
100%. It's just basics, bro.
That thing is a good goal.
And the same with exercise, man. Like, don't kill yourself, but don't sit there on the couch every day. Like, it's just basics. Like, you hear it. Like, maybe go out and go for, you hear that 10,000 steps thing. Like, it's pretty true. Like, that's roughly about an hour walk. Everyone should, be out for an hour a day.
Yeah. Did you hear about that NFT project called Steppin'?
I haven't, but I know the NFT. What is it?
I'll tell you. So you buy these like NFT shoes and you like make your own kit of shoes and you can buy 7 shoes only. And through buying these shoes, whether they're $100 or they're 10,000, like there's a range.
Yeah.
And depending on the type of shoe you get, they collect coins, like this particular currency of coin.
Oh yeah.
From walking 1 hour a day.
What?
So you have to do the 1 hour a day to collect the amount of coins. And you can buy a configuration of shoes that will earn you like, let's say it's 500 coins.
Yeah.
And those coins would be worth like $800 if you cash out.
What the fuck?
So like you're actually earning money through this app.
To walk.
And it's like such a cool thing, especially as they get brands and all that. But obviously the NFTs, like the crypto market's
Dude,
crashed.
I would actually kill that.
Sus.
Do you know how much I walk every day?
You can only do 1 hour though.
Oh.
Like you can't keep earning.
You can't do...
It's just the 1 hour you earn, but if you get a good shoe configuration, you can earn for a bit. Check it out. It's not financial advice, but check it out.
Could be my new income.
Yeah. I mean, right? My friend did it and he was earning like $500.
Are you into NFTs and crypto and that?
I am into it. Do I have a huge portfolio of it? No. But I'm like into it as a technology. I think it's like where e-commerce businesses were in the 90s, that they're kind of rusty. The idea of it's phenomenal, but like wait till all that technology gets to like where e-com is today.
Yeah,
and it's just going to be like game changing stuff.
I started out doing a little bit like 6 months back. Like you know how you go with like a coach and that.
Oh, real?
Yeah, had the that Kyle guy from Crypto Kings. I went through all of that, and then I applied for it all, man, and like spent like $1,000 on this coach, and then I was just bombarded. I was like, I can't deal with this. Like,
bombarded with what? What do you mean?
I'm not good with like technology and the figures, and when I saw it all, I was like, nah, this is just doing my head in. Like,
it's too much.
I was like, I can't control this on top of what I'm doing. Like, and then I've never done it since.
Fair.
But I got mates, man, that honestly they literally live off that and they kill it. Like, they kill it.
I just like it as an idea of like, it's essentially creating like a renegade of all the systems that you need in a high functioning society now, and it's a decentralized version.
Yeah.
Like that is like a very pro freedom like
I think it's going to be the next biggest thing.
I think it can be. But that being said, will the world shut it down? Who knows?
Yeah. Also because everyone just wants to be their own boss right now. And do you know what I mean? Like everyone's goal is to be your own boss, be able to work from anywhere in the world, like laptop or phone. And that's what that provides.
It's definitely a bigger, but I think it's like there's a good and bad of that.
Yeah.
There's definitely a good for everybody that does it, but I think a lot of people are chasing it and it's like taking them away from the actual just nourishing life that they could just have being like steady, because some people just aren't built.
Yeah, that's true. What's your goal with because I actually haven't, obviously, I've only just come across you.
Yeah.
How long ago?
Dude, a couple of weeks ago, dude.
Oh, it was a couple of weeks?
Yeah, it was only a couple of weeks ago you commented.
And then we're already on a potty.
That's it. Well, I was on your side of the world, so I was like,
yeah,
I got to do it.
I love that. Obviously I'm going to go listen to a few of yours. What's your goal of the podcast? Or is it just different guests coming on?
So, it's just guests.
Yeah.
And essentially it's sharing the stories of people and having the chats about like what their voyage is. So then we can have a knowledge share.
Comes in.
Yeah. What's your voyage?
And how many episodes you done?
We've got 33 out, and then previously we had it as a on Greek radio, and we're doing it as the Adelaide Set radio show, and we're having guests on, but then we're also having topics about Adelaide and talking about it, and it was all live.
Oh, dude, so we need to do that.
So we did like 2 years of that, but now that's done, and I've moved it to my own studio and done it like full podcast style.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I'll have to come to Adelaide. We can even do a round table. Me, you, and Youngbloods.
That would be awesome.
I know a lot of Adelaide boys, man. There's so many down there. There's a few that podcast too. Do you know Fresh? Freshian?
Nah.
Freshian? Nah. I'll have to link you a few guys.
Yeah,
I've been on like 3 guys podcasts that are down there. Do you know the 5-8 Take?
Nah.
Oh, bro, I'm going to link you some of these boys. They're all good. They're all like mental health podcasts. They're all from Adelaide. So.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. But, yeah, man, like I love doing it, and yeah.
So in terms of like, what's your model about coaching people? Are you one-on-one, or you have like online models and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, online. Yeah, I don't do anything face-to-face now, so everything's online. I'm actually in the process of launching my app. So the app's, it's just more in-depth and professional. Basically, like I'm...
Just going to check the camera.
Yeah, for sure. Basically, I'm just like recording all my exercises, and like I've even recorded motivational speaking and tips and all of that. So when people log on to this app, everything's there. So like, for example, right now...
It's like a full Kayla itness.
Yeah, like for example, right now I get so many messages. What do I do with this? Or how do I perform this squat? Or how much water should I have? All of this is formulated into the app, so I don't have to do all the back end work. So it's just going to make my life a lot easier. So
when you'll be able to scale, right?
Scale 100%, man. Like worldwide. Like I already do have a few in UK and US, but I think this will take it next level, and I just want to be more professional and see how far I can take it.
What's the team like around that?
As like in like the...
Building the app and all that. Like do you have like a team, or are you still a one man and you're just hiring out a firm to make the app, or like what's your structure like? Yeah,
so I'm going under... do you know Joseph Ragic? Okay, he's pretty big in the fitness. So I'm going under his... It's called Macro Active. And basically he literally has a team of 80. So it's huge. And I'm just working with one individual, and basically we jump on like Google Meet calls, and she would tell me what she needs from me, and then there's a lot of back and forth communication.
Yeah, okay, so they have all the framework in terms of the software stuff, and then you're building the contents to supply that.
Yeah.
And then you have like a deal where they own a portion of it and you own a portion of it?
No, so it's fully mine, but they take it's only like a 5 or a 10% cut from each client I get on board.
You like a commission, like one off, or like on the monthly?
On the monthly.
Yeah, okay.
So, but it's like when you think about it, and this is how like Joseph explained it. Say I sign a client and they take $10 from that. He said realistically, just say you wanted to charge $50 a week, charge $60. and there's you make that. Do you know what I mean? And it's true, man. Like I don't care if they take that. Like, it's more professional, and I think it works in both ways. So
Look, as long as you have a framework, I'm just more interested because like I'm into business.
Yeah.
I like how things are done.
Yeah.
Because I know I had Pedro Guedinich on. He's like a Brazilian app developer. He's working with, like, he's created over 60 apps, and he's working with influencers to create purpose-built apps for for being influencer.
Yeah, right.
And creating that whole ecosystem so then they can do exactly that business model that you're now plugged into, which is the taking a commission, and you retain your ownership. So then you have, you know, the own power over your brand and your business in terms of the direction you move. But then them as a company of building apps, they're getting, you know, good cash flow.
So he's doing the same thing.
He's doing the same thing, dude.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I'll have to message him.
Yeah, I'll let you.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've never really been down this business app space, and it's
different.
It's really, I don't know, man.
Its own beast, dude.
Yeah, like
everybody's trying to create the next $500 million app.
But that's what I mean. Like, if you, like, even for example, the guy that I'm going under, he's, you know, 26, I think, multi-millionaire, like, just this massive team working for him, and he scales and has so funny, like he literally, his clients, he charges $6 a week, and that's unheard of. It's the cheapest thing ever, but because it's so cheap and he's so strategic and he has such an audience, he just makes so much. And it's just different, you know what I mean? Like, because you hear most high-end coaches charging, you know, sometimes like $1,000 for a call. Like, you can hear that type of stuff. And then he's doing $6. And it's like, it just makes you, like, there's so many different ways to actually coach. Do you know what I mean?
Wait, so he's doing coaching of building apps as well?
Yeah. And he's a coach like I am. And
for PT stuff?
Yeah. Nutrition training. Yeah. And $6 a week. So it's just...
That's wild. But he just does it... It's not one-on-one though. It's the same what you're talking about, right? In terms of like creating all the frameworks and then they just plug into it. Yeah.
Yeah. But still, man, $6 a week. Like, who doesn't have that? Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's pretty good.
And like, for the access that he provides, I don't know. It's just.
And what are you looking at charging?
So I'm going to go in the medium range. So there's.
What's that?
They call the high end range, which is like $200 a week. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I'm doing like the 50 kind of.
Yeah.
And then there's like the low end, which is like, you know, $5 to $10. So I just thought I would rather stay. I just think it's better to be in the middle. Do you know what I mean? Like, because then you can adjust either way based off how much influx you're getting. Whereas if you're like, oh, I'm going to go 200 and no one signs up straight away. Yeah,
well, you still got room to do specials, right?
Yeah.
With $50. You still got room to do it. Like, hey, here's a deal as a part of like a social media funnel. Are you doing ad funnels or are you just doing organic?
Yeah. But see, I've never run one ad in my life.
Yeah, well,
one ad.
How have you actually grown your audience?
Bro, organic. I fucking grind.
Because you started when it was still chronological order.
Yeah, bro. So I was just about to say that. I've literally been getting so many messages. Like, I even literally got one on the drive here. Bro, how can I get my engagement up? How can I grow my following?
Engagement has dropped, dude.
Yeah, bro. And I literally, because I voice messaged a lot of people. I was like, bro, I'm not going to lie. Like, when I built my following 3-4 years ago, it was completely different. Like, I remember going up 10K in like a month. And I was like, what the fuck? Bro, you'd be lucky to go up like 1,000 followers in like, you know, a month now. Like, it's fucking hard. Like,
have you gone TikTok?
That's just what I've started to go into, and that's
Gary V said 6 months left.
What do you mean?
He said that there's about 6 to 8 months left of like this like crazy exponential growth being possible on TikTok.
Oh, so he reckons it's going to die.
He doesn't think it's going to die. He think in terms of the arrogance, it's just going to slow everything down. That's his prediction.
I know TikTok is the biggest thing right now.
Yeah.
But do you know what's your expectations, or have you heard of anything about Instagram? Do you reckon it's going to die off, or do you reckon it's still going to stay?
I think it's still going to stay because it has such
Yeah.
power behind it, and they are willing to continually change it as an app.
Well, I hope they do, because that's where my platform is.
I mean, they have been, right?
Yeah.
They've completely said, all right, TikTok's the thing, boom, Reels.
Yeah.
We have a whole system now. And Reels have been going pretty well, but they don't have the same level of engagement that you'll get on TikTok. So, for example, for the potty,
Yeah.
like we'll have a video on TikTok get 30,000 views, but it will get 800 likes and like 20 or 30 comments. Pretty good. Reels, for example, would get that same amount, but we might only get 200 or 300 likes and say 5 or 10 comments. So that engagement is just crazier on TikTok.
I can't deal with it. I'm struggling enough with one app, you know what I mean? Let alone opening up another one and doing a video every day. And people even reckon you got to
same content. Just share it on that.
Yeah, I've just started. I've literally just started, and I've just been putting up. I just put one of my last podcast speaks up, so I'm gonna put a few of these up. But the podcast, like in terms of because I used to just do photo shoots, so everything on my page was just a still picture. You know what I mean? And that worked for me in the past.
That's what Instagram used to be,
bro. It worked for me big time. Like I remember back in the day when I'm not gonna lie, like when I put up like a shirtless shot, like proper tensing, good lighting, bro, I get like fucking 1,000 comments, like literally 1,000 organic comments, no fucking pain. And now, man, like it's like you put up a shot and like I still get good engagement, but it's like I might get 100 comments, and it's like that's 900 drop off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I don't have a huge page personally, but my like stories, for example, used to get like 1,400 views, and now it's like
even
on
stories.
a good day, like I'm on 500.
Yeah,
I'm like, wow.
But what I have noticed is you've seen my feed, like how I've been putting up like just a minute clip of the best, like some of that. So I want to put up like some of the most intense minute clips of this. They've been getting real good engagement.
Yeah, when they're as Reels, right?
Yeah, as Reels.
So crushing it.
And that's why even you asked me today, and like, I'm pretty much, I want to say yes to going on anyone's, like not just to, like, I actually want to get the content. I want to get it out there. So more of this, like I would do this any day of the week, you know what I mean? Because this is the content I think it will go viral. And people want to hear this stuff now. Everyone wants to hear just real talk, you know what I mean? But they want to see the face.
Yeah, and you need video.
Bro, 100%.
You need video.
Because I used to do audio.
That's what our radio show was.
And people were like I was dropping, bro. I remember having Danny Green on. Like, Danny Green's huge.
In the fitness community?
Danny Green, the professional boxer.
I'm not a boxing dad.
So, like, I had some big guests on mine, like professional AFL players, NRL. They were all audio, and I was like, fuck, if I had them face to face, like, I reckon it would have quadrupled in engagement.
That's fair, but what you can do if you want to like put the effort in is just get like a good clip that may have a lot of imagery behind it, and then just have heaps of photos and pull heaps of references and have it as like a photo thing and the captions. It's just more of an effort to do it, of course.
But I think just from now on, everyone I talk to, it's just like this face to face, because it literally, the traction is just through the roof when you do it.
Yeah, it's good. So in terms of the app, tell me more about like you're building this app and like what is actually the content that you're sharing. So like you're saying how to do squats effectively. What else?
As in, what does the app offer?
Yeah.
So it'll have like all literally 150. I've had to go do 150 exercises. It's pretty much every exercise you can think of. I'll be performing that, and then I'll be speaking. So if you log into this app as someone that's never exercised before, and I tell you, obviously I've got them the set training program. So if I've given you a leg day, and you've just stepped foot in the gym, you don't even know what to do. You literally log on to this app. You're going to hear me speaking, blah, 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 talking you through all of this, giving you some motivational tips. I got like morning messages. So when you wake up, you listen to it. And I'm like giving like my favorite quote and a bit of energy and all that.
Doing your David Goggins, like, get hard, stay hard.
That's it, bro. And then when they walk into the gym, they literally like, it's just all self-explained.
Yeah.
So like you can't not do it. Do you know what I mean? And then it's got like full grocery list. So when you go to the Woolworths, and I've given you this diet, and you go like you just follow what I say.
Yeah, you just
it's
made
got
it
like
easy.
a workout,
Yeah.
like a Spotify. So like you just log in and you just click that, and that's like all the best songs.
And you have ability to like save things
Yeah,
that you
bro.
liked and all that.
So I just think it's more like it's just top end. I don't really know how you can go wrong. Do you know what I mean? So yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
just business is crazy, man. Like there's so many ways to level up, and this is what I love about it. It's like it's never ending. You think you're like, oh yeah, like I'm at the top of my game, and it's like, bro, you can just keep going. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I love looking up to like, you know, Gary Vee, for example, or Tony Robbins, or there's some good guys out there, and I just when I follow those people now, like I only follow those type of people now, because when they put a post up or you see their stories, man, it's like, it's just like crazy. Like it just motivates you and drives you more, because their mindset is just on another fucking level. You know what I mean? It's just, you don't want to have you standard down here when you're following those guys.
How have you maintained that standard with your friends?
I've had to cut people off, bro.
Yeah, what's
Straight
that
up.
been? Tell me a story. What's that been like?
Bro, if someone's not uplifting me or supporting my content or checking in on me, well, they're not a friend. Why do I need to have them in my life? Do you know what I mean? Or if they're always just posting, and you know how you see some people like they were a friend, but everything they put up is negative. You know what I mean? It's like everything is negative or comparing or competition. It's like, why the fuck do I want to follow them? Because everything I watch is draining my positive energy.
Fair.
Do you know what I mean?
Have you had to cut off any people that were like real long term, like you had like a real close friendship, but then they haven't been able to get on the track that you're, you know, training towards?
I've cut them off more because I realize that they're fake. Do you know what I mean? They're not. I can.
So they weren't really like actually there for you as a friend, but they were just.
They
like,
were, but you start to realize as you mature more, and I'm big on body
How
language.
old are you?
27.
Okay.
I'm big on body language, man. Like I'm not going to sit here and say I'm fucking some psychic or whatever, but I can just tell when someone's fake now. I just know energy, bro. I know when someone wants to give you their time and when someone doesn't. And if they don't want to be part of my success, then they're not in my group, man. I don't mean I hate them. I just mean I don't communicate with them on a daily basis. Like, I don't need to reach out and give my time to them. I just give time to people that I can tell are on my level and want to see me succeed, and vice versa.
Yeah, okay. So it's more you're just subtly moving, like,
Yeah, just
it's not
moving
like,
on.
It's not like you're having some drama with someone and you're like,
Nah,
you're cut. It's like, I'm
You're
just going to
cut.
talk to these people more.
You're off.
You're cut
Nah.
for the team, dude.
It's I just think you just got to move on and just focus on people that are on your level that you want to be on. And for people listening, if you want to just do that 9-to-5 job and you don't really have any goals or ambitions, and you don't really care about what you look like, and you don't respect yourself, that's fine. There's so many people out there that they live that life, that they never do anything with their life. I'm not having a go at you. That's your life, but
Yeah, it's
that's
their
not for me.
prerogative.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's not for me. That bores the fuck out of me. Do you know what I mean? So I'm probably not going to be communicating with you, and that's all I'm saying. I'm being straight up honest, and I think the world needs more realness and honesty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fucks
So
with that.
yeah,
That makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
Because a lot of people, I think, here, like, oh, they just cut people off and they think it is this, like, big, scary thing to do
Yeah.
in terms of how
It's
to
not
shape.
scary, man.
But how you framed it,
Yeah.
like, yeah, that just makes a lot of
It's
sense.
really not scary. You should actually be the opposite of scared to do it. Do you know what I mean? You should be scared to keep surrounding yourself with these people, because it's only going to lower you. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
It's so like I'm more scared, like, what if I don't fucking leave these people that are just draining my energy, because I'm just going to be that energy. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, bet.
So,
And what kind of personal development stuff have you done? Obviously, gym is a huge personal development, eating right.
yeah.
But like in terms of more mindfulness, like do you meditate? Do you do yoga? Do you go to like personal development courses like Tony Robbins and stuff like that? Like,
yeah, good question. Man, I never used to do any of this, and I said this on another podcast. You would have asked me like 5 years ago to write in a journal each morning and do some meditation and affirmations. I would have said, who the fuck are you? Like, that is the gayest thing I've ever heard. And I'm not going to lie, man, I do it to this day, and it is elite.
Yeah.
You like, I'm not sincere saying if you're listening, you have to go journal and meditate. And people think meditate is the wrong thing. When you say meditate to the general population, they think you got to sit there with your legs crossed and kind of like hum, and you know what I mean?
I mean, it is
like,
nice doing that.
You can do that, but it's
not
also
the only
completely
way.
different. You know what I mean?
So
And
how
like,
do you approach meditation then?
so I do more like my affirmations, meditations. I'm more just like, it could be just silence, and I'm just going through visualization of my day or my goals or believing in myself. Or some mornings I might sit there and I might look in front of the mirror, like literally just look at myself just after I hop out of the shower, and I'll just go, Jaxon, like, you are beautiful. Like, you are worthy. You know, you are capable of this. But actually tell myself and believe it. And I know it sounds kind of corny, but when you actually do it for an extended period of time, like over months, why would you not think anything else? You start to believe it. And then it's like, I'm not saying I'm the most beautiful person in the world, but I am beautiful. Do you know what I mean? We're all beautiful in our own way. And if you think that, your life becomes so much better. Like, you don't need to always be so hard on yourself. And I was so hard on myself back in the days. And there is so many people listening that I guarantee you they're so critical and hard on themselves. They'll look at themselves in the mirror, and they would just pick flaws. Fuck, my fucking, I need my lips done if I'm a girl, or I'm not happy with my nose or my hair, or I'm not happy with my waist. And it's like, why don't you reverse that around and pick out the positives? Do you know what I mean? And I just think that's huge. So, yeah. It's crazy, man. Like, breath work is another one.
Wait, quickly, how long do you do that for usually? Is it like a 5-minute thing for you? Is it?
Yeah, that's
like
a
some
good
people
question.
go like, hey, like you need to do this for half hour to an hour. Like, that's a long time.
Nah, bro. I probably, in terms of like the affirmations and stuff,
Yeah.
7 minutes max. Like, sometimes it can literally be 50 seconds. And that's where people go wrong. It's just
Doing it.
it's not time consuming. You don't have to buy or have anything. It's free, and you do it in your own body. You don't need to be anywhere. Like, just give it a go. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Like, it's, yeah. But all of these little things, like even just writing. Do you know Cooper Chapman? I went on Cooper Chapman's podcast. You should get him on, man. He's really good. And he just taught me to, it's simple. You probably do it yourself, but he just taught me every day. He owns his own clothing brand called The Good Human, and it's all about gratitude. He said every day, just wake up, Jaxon, and just literally write 3 things you're grateful for. And then when you go to bed, do the same. And it's crazy, man, when you actually just get up and you're like, what am I grateful for today? And you write it down, and then you look over it in like a journal, and it just changes your outlook on life. Do you know what I mean? That's another great little tip to do. Like, there's so many things you can do, but I think it's better off just starting small and then working your way up. Do you know what I mean? So there's 2 great things. Try some affirmations, write down what you're grateful for, then write like maybe a couple of goals for the day, just small goals you want to achieve. One could be exercise related, one could be business related, one could be relationship related. Try that, and man, that's a great start. You know what I mean? Listen to a podcast, like Tony Robbins or Joe Rogan. Listen to something that really motivates you when you're out doing your walk, and then follow your intuition and really do what you want to do in life. I don't see what can go wrong.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And
What do you do? Do you surely you do. You're very business related. Surely
Yeah,
you do
so-
something, or what's your mindset like, or do you do anything that's got you to where you are now?
Yeah. Thank you.
I
So
like
what I do is I work in marketing.
Yep.
And I work for a car parking commercial real estate company. Before that, I was freelancing for about 5-7 years.
Yeah, nice.
Assisting my friend build his media platform called the Adelaide Set, which is all about showcasing youth culture and lifestyle of South Australia.
Yep.
And then just got a bunch of clients where I just did jack of all trades, learnt tools in my tool belt, and then I'm about to move into a new job. And then on the side, been doing the podcast, been working on starting an e-commerce business. So like I'm this close to like getting all the shipment here, but like dealing with China, not gonna lie, has been the like most like strenuous shit of my life.
Yeah.
Because like communication is like, you don't realize how hard communication can be until you try to do business with China.
Nah, dude, I literally was just in the gym training with someone, and he was talking about the communication of trying to get his clothing brand done up, and he's just back and forth with these Chinese people, and it's so hard to actually organize.
Yeah, well, you can't ask like 4 questions in one paragraph.
Yeah.
Like you literally have to ask one question at a time.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I reply instantly, other times I wait a bit. But that's the biggest thing. You have to continue to ask the same questions again and again and again to get an answer of any kind of depth.
And then like in terms of clothing, yours is different, but in terms of clothing, then when you actually finalize the t-shirt, they send it over. Yeah, that's a month. And then you get it. I've had this happen so many times. I've got so many mates with clothing brands. It's fucking not right.
Yeah.
Send it back. But that happens multiple times. I've had mates that have tried to launch their clothing brand, and just through like, what do you call it when you get the first item? The
Sample.
When you get the sample, they've literally done nearly six months to 12 months trying to get the fucking sample right. Like, do you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah, well, it's like, how do you continually make new stuff if that's the way it has to be?
And then what I've realized is the bigger brands that are doing really successful, I know some owners of them, what they've actually done is they've flown to China, they've seen the guys, they've done it all there. So then when it's they've been there, they've talked through it, and then it's ready to go. There's no ifs or buts, it's ready.
Yeah.
But that's an investment where you got to weigh up, but that's what I would do.
That's where business gets expensive, and if you don't have the capital to start, it can be hard to start.
But
if you want to do it properly.
That's what the big end brands have done, and it clearly pays off because there's no.
For sure, you do quality control.
Yeah. So it's crazy, man. Business it's crazy. Like,
it's not necessarily hard. There's just a lot.
And I don't even know.
Simple activities.
Yeah.
Like going to a place, checking that it's right. Yeah. Very fucking simple activity. You could, you could do that. But
I don't even know what this world's going to be like in 20 to 50 years' time. Do you know what I mean? Like, I look back at even just, the last 20 years, how much the world has changed, how much social media has changed, technology, COVID.
Yeah, well, are we going to war, dude? We're going to be in war in the next 20 years, you reckon?
Bro, like, what are we... I just don't know. I don't know
What's your hot take, man, dude? What are your predictions? Because like mine are pretty grim.
I've heard all sorts of shit. I've heard we're gonna have aliens dropping down, and I don't even know what to believe. Hey,
there was some UFO sightings that the Pentagon released.
Fuck, I don't know. I suppose that's why I am trying my hardest to set up my own business, is because who knows if people even have jobs in 20 to 50 years time. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's why it's critical to maybe have your own business. Or
I think there will be jobs.
Yeah.
I think that so I did a Bachelor of Business, major marketing, and in one of my subjects, the lecturer I can't remember what it's called. It's like something about digital future.
Yeah.
And he said 70% of the jobs that people will have in 15 years have not even been invented yet.
Yeah, wow.
So there's and you look at something like the metaverse, for example, like that is a whole branch of jobs inside that have like not been invented yet. But I'm kind of a bit worried that we're going to become like this, like, what's the WALL-E? You remember WALL-E, the movie? Yeah. And how everybody's just on those recliners? Like, we're going to be like that, but plugged into like the Matrix.
Nah, I'm not going to be that. Wow. I'll be the odd one out.
You'll be the one hunting. You'll be like, fuck it, I'm going to Colorado, I'm going hunting.
That's I I just don't know. It's strange, man. And this is why life is, I find it so exciting. Do you know what I mean? Like, and this is why because I used to be that person, man, that I did nothing. I was just content with doing nothing. But
Like with your days?
yeah, bro. Like
At what age? Because you've been doing stuff for a while now. So like what age you talking about?
20, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Was it just gym, going out kind of thing? Was like the things you did?
yeah, like I would just, I would kind of, I don't want to say be your typical teenager, but I would go out and I'd get wasted, and I would then sleep all Sunday, and then I would not look forward to Monday. And then it's just like this weird effect of like, it's just the same shit every week, and you don't really see your potential within like what you can actually do. But when I obviously switch that around, and it's like just little things, like little wins, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like my platform is going good, and I'm about to launch an app now, and I've done 160 podcasts that have inspired thousands of people, and I've saved a few lives, and I'm modeling for Culture Kings, and it's like, well, how much further can I? It's interesting, man. It's like it excites you to, like, you don't want to level down and just be like, I don't know. I just think for everyone listening out there, just fucking have a crack at life and see what you can do.
I do understand that. I give you a few examples of what that was for me. One of them is going on a 15-day walk from Adelaide to Mount Gambier.
Wow, when did you do that?
In 2020. So
that's epic.
The world was like in shit.
For a fundraiser or not? Yeah.
My friend and I, George, same guy that did the water fast. Wow. We were like, let's go on a fat walk, because he did like a 3-day walk, and it was like, oh, that's really cool. Let's do a bigger one, dude.
Dude,
Can you pass me the remote quickly? And I just
how did your feet feel?
Oh, my feet were fine.
Did you have blisters?
Well, what we did is we wore like merino wool socks that are like toe socks.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So that helped, and then we taped our feet.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Like from the start, because we're like, we know blisters are going to be something we need to prevent. So that, and then the biggest thing for me was my left knee. Yeah. Because I was like walking out of alignment, like my hip was down and like forward. Like over the days of walking, I had all these micro tears in my ligament that just developed from the compound of walking every day. And like on the 7th day, I was to the point where like I couldn't move my knee more than like every millimeter hurt. And I was lying on the ground, and I had my leg up in the air to like just like let it rest a bit. And like my mum was there, she was walking with me that day. George's mum, she was like support vehicle.
Yeah.
And she was there, and then my friend's mum was on the phone. So I had like the mothers, this is like, I had the mothers going while I'm on the ground, excruciating pain. Hamish, you need to stop. You're going to do damage to yourself. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
So I had that full mother maternal like energy just there, right there. And it was like, I could just take it and get in the car. I'm lying there looking up at the sky in the middle of the day. And something in me was just like, no, I'm fucking doing it.
That's so good. I love that.
And my friend was like a K in front, because I was walking so slow because my knee was like bugging.
That's so good.
Then I popped the Voltaren.
I like that.
And the Voltaren was the big actual assistance in that. Popped the Voltaren and then got up and just kept walking.
Mindset.
Yeah, well, it hurts still, but I just kept doing it.
Yeah, but mindset, bro. Mindset is everything, bro. Everything.
And you would know this, like being able to channel even those like negative feelings.
Yeah.
There's that rage, that resentment, that pain, and actually channel that into pushing forward and pushing harder. Yeah. I had like full hours of like just channeling that emotion.
Yeah.
And then striding harder.
I fucking love that, bro. People need to get inspired by that. Dude, I want to ask you, you said 15 days?
Yeah.
What did you eat and drink? Would you just
we had George's mum that was
so
like
you did stop and shit?
Oh, like yeah. We slept overnight. We camped on the side of the road and stuff.
Yeah, I thought you meant like you were just continuously going and you were like living off gels.
We did about 6 to 9 hours a day.
Yeah.
It was about 30 to 32 Ks a day on average.
That's still intense.
Although one day we were like, how long did the longest like soldiers walk back in history? And we saw the Spartan warriors did 70 Ks a day on their way to battle. which is fucking huge. Like,
so you tried to match
that
it.
walk. So one day we did like a 13-hour walk.
Fuck.
And we walked fucking 80 Ks, dude.
Dude, you'd have been knackered.
Dude, I was delirious. It was like pitch black. Like, and you're out in like the southeast, like coast of South Australia. So it's like, there's no like street lights there, you know, like it's pitch black. And we're listening to like these astrology podcasts and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was great. And like, but we have like,
I thought you would have
best
been listening
view.
to like fucking AC/DC or something.
Nah,
like
although-
Thunderstruck.
no, we had, we went through heaps of different
Yeah.
music, but the cool thing, the podcast was getting into people like Colin O'Brady. I think it's Colin O'Brady.
No, I haven't heard him. No.
I think it's that. Yeah. He's the guy that did the crazy adventure stuff from like over 55 days, unsupported and unassisted in terms of his motion, pulling a harnessed sled that at the start weighed 170 kilos
What?
from one side of Antarctica to the other
Yeah, that's
over 55 days
that shit
alone.
next level.
Like,
Like,
so we're hearing his story on like Joe Rogan.
and then it makes
in-depth.
your story sound easy.
Well, it's not that it was easy, but it was inspiring for us to keep pushing forward because we understood like, you know, I didn't train for this.
Yeah.
I didn't train to walk 15 days, literally.
Yeah.
No training. We were just like, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And then I did it. And then, you know, my knee copped it.
I do that a lot with things in life. Like I take someone that's done something obviously extraordinary, and then like, for example, say you have a goal to go for a 5K run every day, and then you look at someone that's, you know, like even Plan Jansen. He's on the Gold Coast. He just run 200. He ran for 2 days straight.
Yeah.
Straight. And then I was like, he ran it around the Gold Coast University, just around the circuit. Obviously, and I just
2 days straight, just on the one circuit.
yeah, bro, he's an animal.
God.
I've got to link his, and he's a vegan, so he's literally, bro, he's so funny on his stories. He's like just sitting there, like people like throwing him like boiled sweet potatoes, and he's just like chewing on it, bro, and just charging. And I was like, what an animal. And then like when I wake up, and sometimes because I'm getting into running, and I'm like, oh fuck, a 5K run. I just look at shit like that, and I'm like, what the fuck? It just makes you appreciate it, you know what I mean? And it just makes things, I wouldn't say easier, but you know what I mean? More inspired.
Yeah, well, you put it into perspective, and I feel like
Someone always out there that has it harder than us.
True. For
So-
me, what I've found works better is like me as I move forward and like, getting inspired from other people about like, oh, you can do bigger and better. But once I start to do bigger and better
Yeah.
myself, then I get to look back on, dude, you did that. Like, this is nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you can do whatever. Like, if I have like a day of work where it's like, I don't want to be doing that, dude, you just walk 15 days
Yeah.
in Mount Gambier. Like,
You can finish your day.
you can do this.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you'll be fine.
I think you might have to do a 30-day one.
I think, well, it's about choosing like what's point A and point B, because I love the adventure of
Yeah.
like you're actually checking shit out.
That's epic. That's something even I'd want to do. I've set a goal to do a marathon,
Yeah.
which I never thought, but I'm going to do it just to
Yeah.
fucking feel good when you're done.
I had Georgie Johnson on the podcast.
I've heard of her. Yeah.
She's like marketing guru.
yeah.
And her partner, he ran from, I'm pretty sure it was Adelaide to, what's the big mountain in Sydney? New South Wales, like Mount Osmond or something like that?
Yeah. That's
Anyway,
hectic.
Like huge. You ran the
Wow.
whole way, dude.
For a fundraiser again? Yeah, wow. Yeah, people are doing extraordinary things, man.
They
We
are.
think we got it hard. We think we got it hard sitting here on the couch.
Yeah, the leather's scratchy on me,
Yeah.
dude.
It's a bit cold. No, honestly. Gratitude and mindset, man, two massive things.
Yeah,
Two
bet.
massive things in life. So
So what's like next for you? Obviously you have the app, but like you sound like you're not like a one mission person. Like what else is part of that ecosystem that you're creating?
So my two biggest goals and ambition and my drive for the next for life now is kind of to do with the podcast. I want to do motivational speaking in schools and at events around the world. That's like my big goal. I know it's going to take a bit, but I'll get there.
Well, you're doing retreats now, aren't you?
And that's my other one, fitness retreat. So I want to actually kind of take, and once again, it's all together. Like that's kind of like my coaching and the podcast. So I want to take like my coaching and what I have to offer and who I'm known for to go run retreats and have people come and be like, oh, I get to train with Jaxon at Bali or Thailand, and then I want to motivational speak and help people with what I'm talking about now, but to a wider volume of audience. Do you know what I mean? So they're the two, they're my goals, bro. Like, and I'm going to achieve them. So yeah, that's it, man. What's the goal with the podcast before we wrap up? And who are some guests that you really want to have on? I'm sure you've got like...
Is in the big ticket ones?
I want big ticket and then like just...
I mean, Robert Kiyosaki would be pretty awesome to have on. You know, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
And do you reckon you'll get him?
Yeah, at some point.
I fucking love that.
Dude.
Is that the biggest you want on?
Look, I mean, you know, Tony Robbins would be great. It's just like people that are doing things that
Tony, you listening?
Doing phenomenal life. Because it's like we have 100 years, right?
Yeah.
I have 100 years, you have 100 years, give or take.
Yeah.
What are we going to do with it?
Yeah.
That's it.
I like it. What about little more like, you know, anyone from Australia, like anyone like that we kind of know that you like, fuck yeah, I'd love to have them on? Or
I want to have some big property developers on.
Yeah. Would you ever get, you know, Koloshi Real Estate?
Okay.
You don't know him? I thought you were into real estate.
I am, but like I don't know every...
Michael Koloshi, he's probably the biggest...
Like into...
Yeah, that would be a good one for you.
Pocket of the world right now.
Yeah. But once again, with the podcast, I reckon the list is endless.
Yes.
Like, it's like... Because there's always... Like
people doing stuff.
Yeah, it's just...
There's 7 billion people out there.
Bro, you could never not have a guest on.
There's at least 1 million people that I'd want to get on.
Yeah, bro, that's what I mean. It's like, you're never going to achieve it. Like, you always just going to have good guests on. So,
yeah.
I think just keep rocking it and spreading the message.
You too, man.
And...
Is there anything, because obviously you're strapped for time, I understand that.
We'll have to do another one for sure.
Come to Adelaide next and...
100%.
We'll get you in the studio.
I want to get you on mine too. That'd be awesome. I like doing that, like a bit of a double whammy. But man, like I think I've touched on a lot of things that like we could talk for hours. And I did a podcast the other day, and we did 2.5 hours, and I swear to God, it felt like 2 minutes. Like I was that in the zone, and I was just, you really can talk forever. Like it just leads to different areas. So, but I think the message that I want to get out there is, you know, it's more about believing yourself. So it's like, you know, if you're listening to this right now, don't doubt yourself because, you know, and don't fear failure. So many people fear failure, and it's like failure brings success. So, you know, like I've failed so many times, but if I didn't fail, I wouldn't be where I am today. Because when you fail, you should take that as like a positive, because now it makes you go back to whatever you failed at and think in 100 different ways. How can I overcome that and not fail next time? And you keep cracking and chipping at it. And whether this is business or fitness or whatever it is, I think you got to embrace failure because it brings success. And I just want everyone listening out there to know that you really are capable of whatever you want to do in life to an extent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's always limitations of some sort.
Yeah,
you got to keep moving forward, as Rocky said.
I'm being honest. Like if you're listening, you want to fucking go chase that goal that's in your head, and you keep doubting yourself, just go for it. Like, just give it your all, be consistent, give it time, surround yourself with the right people. I don't see why you can't do whatever you want. And that should inspire people to get up and have a crack at whatever they are at whatever they want to do, listening to this.
100%. And just touching on the failure thing, through my like escapades in personal development, there was a way of contextualizing failure that was quite unique, which is like, it's in the world of performance. Yeah. It's in the world of actions you're taking or not taking, and seeing it as the actions you take didn't work in the world of performance, and that has nothing to say about you. You are you, and they're the actions you took or did not take. That's it. It's not about, you're a failure, or like it's disassociating yourself from that. It's just the actions you took for that particular activity.
Man, I like that. Where did you learn that?
Landmark.
That's I'm taking that on board. Like, although I don't fear failure, but that's just it's brought a different perspective to it.
Like
Yeah.
life is.
Yeah, I like it,
Little
man.
ingredients of there's a little spice.
We just add a bit of spice for you. Bit of what type of spice?
That's it. We got the secret
Cinnamon.
herbs and spices. Keep listening to What's Your Voyage, and you'll hear more herbs and spices. Where can people find you?
Instagram, bro. Instagram, not TikTok. At I am Jaxon Tippet. It's all just one word. You'll probably leave it in the description, and everything is on there in my website. So my modeling, my coaching, and my podcast is all on the one page. But just send me a DM, and I'd love to get back to you. And if you enjoy this podcast, share it on your story, give it a like, reach out to us. It'd be much appreciated.
Thank you for listening to What's Your Voyage.
Thanks,
See you later, guys.
Fuck yeah, that was sick, bro.